My name is Trustee Zakir Patel. I'm the chair of the Finance, Budget, and Enrollment Committee. I would like to call today's meeting to order. And before we start the meeting, I would like to have our land acknowledgement. If you can stand up, please stand. We acknowledge we are hosted on the lands of the Mississaugas of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Wendat. We also recognize the enduring presence of all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. Miigwech, thank you. Welcome committee members, trustees, staff, and members of the public. So this meeting is continuation of yesterday's delegation meeting. Today, all of our delegates are virtually. So we will start with delegate number 63, Joanne Mador. Hi, Joanne.
Hi there. Okay, are you ready for me to
Yes,
go?
Joanne, go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Joanne Mador from York Southweston, currently enrolled in General Interest Seniors Programming in Central Etobicoke. I was shocked to learn 2 weeks ago that the TDSB was recommending to eliminate General Interest Seniors Programs and refers to other available programs. Firstly, I'd like to know what other programs the TDSB is referring to. Based on my research, no other similar programs exist within the TDSB. Speaking from a personal perspective, but echoing the sentiment of many adults and seniors, I strongly feel that these programs are a lifeline to us. The challenges we have faced and continue to face, including navigating through COVID, aging, inflation, mental and physical health issues, isolation, and maintaining cognitive health are real and urgent issues in our community. For instance, last fall I asked myself, after going through difficult challenges in my household, how am I going to mentally and physically get through this winter season? I then had to make a real effort to locate a Learn for Life brochure to sign up, which with improved marketing by the TDSB could help boost declining enrollment numbers. The elimination of this program is an extremely drastic and unnecessary measure that will negatively impact our community for a minimal savings of $675,000. However, the TDSB has approved a motion to hire 20 new VP and safety positions at a cost of $6.8 million. Why can we not find a solution to a mere $675,000 deficit that is serving thousands of adults and seniors? The elimination of programming will cause much higher costs to the City of Toronto in the end, and will be seen through mental and physical health issues, coupled with rising healthcare costs as a result. The AGIS stance in targeting the elimination of seniors programming is not in keeping with the TDSB mission statement goals and values to provide equity of access to learning opportunities for all students. That must include seniors as well. Lastly, it does not make common sense that the enrollment decline in the seniors programs is only 15%, while adult day enrollment decline is a whopping 50%. However, the current TDSB recommendation is to fully eliminate the seniors program while allowing a restructure in the adult day program. How is this equitable, and where is the rationale in this? In closing, my recommendation is to strongly consider the restructure of the general interest senior program rather than the complete elimination of it. Thank you, trustees, for your consideration in voting no to the elimination of general interest seniors programming.
Thank you, Joanne. Trustees, questions of clarifications, please. Thank you, Joanne.
Thank you.
Delegate number 70, Karen Henley. Press *6 to unmute, Karen. Not there? Okay. Number 77, Alicia Elliott. Alicia? No. Number 78, Doug Dixon. Star 6 to unmute, Doug.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
To the chairperson. Good evening, chairperson, TDSB trustees, TDSB staff, fellow delegates, and interested observers. Thank you for allowing me to participate in your meeting. I'm Doug Dixon, a frequent student of the continuous education courses, particularly auto mechanics. I have a possible conflict of interest in that the chairperson represents the ward in which I live. Good afternoon, chairperson.
Good afternoon, Doug.
I find that the strategy that the TDSB is using in regards to making some radical changes to the courses is somewhat similar to what the City of Toronto did in regards to a radical increase in taxes. The city tried to raise taxes 10%, which is way over and above anything that's ever happened before. As far as tax increases are concerned, there were many delegations, meetings, and publicity going as a result of the city's suggestion in regards to the increase in taxes. Eventually, the city settled for 9%, which, in my opinion, is a strategy. I also note that the Toronto Police Service was looking for $20 million more in a budget increase, and the Toronto Police Service did basically the same thing as the city did, conducted a lot of campaign, sent around flyers by the Police Association, and also the police chief was presenting his ideas to the City of Toronto, the council, having to do with the increase. Eventually, the city provided the additional $20 million that the police service required. I was wondering what the Toronto District School Board is going to accomplish by doing or making this radical reduction in the service that the TDSB is providing. I also noticed that in the Finance, Budget, and Enrollment Committee meeting March the 19th agenda, at page 6, the indication that the continuing education is operating at a deficit of approximately $6.9 million. I would somewhat object to making that comment without having any other ideas as to how to straighten that matter up. There has to be a reason why another school board can operate a continuing education at a break even or a good business model, and the TDSB can't. I don't know why. As I mentioned, I am an auto mechanics student and have been for a few courses having to do or sessions. And the last time the school board canceled the auto mechanics course because there weren't enough enrollment in other parts of the school, that's Northview Heights. We students got together with a TDSB supervisor, and were able to demonstrate to the school board that we could run that course at a break-even or a business model, and the school board refused. So if we can run if we can run a course at a break-even or business model, I don't see why the school board can't do the same. there are some restrictions in regards to these night school courses. Apparently, you need a supervisor there. You need someone from the maintenance department for 4 hours while the course is being conducted. That appears to be a waste of money, as far as I know. I don't know why why the school board requires this supervision.
Hi, Doug. Sorry to interrupt
Hello.
you. Your time is up,
That's
Doug.
okay.
Can you wrap up, Doug?
Yes, thank you for allowing me to participate in your meeting. Mr. Edwards is next, and unfortunately, Mr. Edwards is attending, as appears to be late from his medical appointment. Is it possible that Mr. Edwards can be put down until later on in this meeting?
Thank you, Doug. Trustees, questions of clarification for Doug? Thank you, Doug, for your delegation.
You're welcome.
Number 79, George Edwards.
Mr. Chair, I think there was a request to put him down later from the previous delegate.
Number 93, Paramjit Kaur.
Oh, hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, hi. Go ahead. We can listen to you.
Okay, great. Good evening, everybody, taking this time to come out and listen to us. I have very simple questions because I've heard yesterday everybody talking and put up their ideas out there. I have simple questions. To come to this decision to eliminate continuing education program, what thought was given to that besides saying that a deficit of $500,000? And was any thought put into it that how can we improve? I would like to hear that because nobody has said that, how much of work is being put up. And also, what we have noticed from last 3 years that this program was being designed in a way in the last 3 years to fail in the sense of to bring enrollment down.
Hi,
And
Paramjit.
the reason I say yes, yes.
We cannot
Can
hear
you
you
hear me?
properly. Can you bring mic closer to you? And
Okay. Can you hear me now? Do you want me to start again or you have some information? Hello?
yeah, go ahead, Paramjit.
Okay. I'm going to begin again. Thank you for everybody coming and taking your time to listen to us and a concern. I have only simple questions here because a lot has been spoken about it and information is given. My question is that was any thought put into it before coming to the decision to eliminate the continuing education program? And what measures were taken to see how one can increase or how one can reduce the deficit? We need those answers too. Thirdly, what we have noticed that for last 3 years, that this program has been designed in a way that it will fail in terms of enrollments are down because it's only through online. I can agree to that. We did online during the COVID time, but we are in the post-COVID. We are not during the COVID. Why is it not people are allowed to go to the site and make the payment? I tell you the reason. They are senior citizens, their cards, accounts have been compromised. And once any of you sitting in this room, your bank account is compromised, you know the pain and you want to deal everything with cash or go to and you feel a comfort to sign. They cannot. Thirdly, you can't even move from one course to the other if you did not like. So you're punished. in a way that you should make a decision in the beginning, go online, decide the course, and stick to that course. That's not the way your life works. So these are the issues we have noticed, and we have come to the conclusion that this is being done deliberately so that eventually you can close down or eliminate continuing education. And also that statistics shows that a large amount of senior citizens or baby boomers are going to step out, and they will want this continuing education so they can go and utilize the school where their kids have studied. And coming back to the point of taxation is increased, some wise baby boomer will say, why should I pay tax for the school when my kids are out? They can pay when their kids are in the school. This is all I have to say. And I have to say, you need to think about it. Think about the future. Think about one day you and I will be in that boat. How are we going to manage our boredom where continuing education is not available to us? And also that you should allow people to go and go to the site and be able to enroll, who have a comfort of not able to do online, but more comfortable doing at site. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paramjeet. Trustees, questions or clarifications for Paramjeet? Nope. Thank you, Paramjeet. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Number 94, Roy Underhill. Press star 6 to unmute. Hi, Roy.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, thank you. Great. So first of all, I'd like to say thank you to everybody for these incredibly long meetings. That's a lot of effort and a lot of faith required. All right. Now, the budget of the TDSB is $3.7 billion. The deficit, depending on POD, is either $20 million or $36 million. Either way, the budget is already 99% balanced. The deficit's only 1%. Many organizations would be really happy to achieve that. And now we see already there's some big ticket items worth $17 million. So maybe the remaining deficit is only $3 million. 0.1% of the overall budget. Excellent. Now, while I believe a lot of good hard work has been done to get us this far, we can't believe that we've exhausted the possibilities and that we can't find another 0.1% somewhere. Trustees Pei and Siskandaraja and Deviti and Earhart all made questions finding more options. So I think we should think that there is more room, that we should thank the staff and reward them greatly for such wonderful work, and then task them to go back and find a bit more. Okay. That being the case, we really don't need any cuts to general interest, senior stay time, international languages, African heritage, or outdoor education. Those are all unnecessary cuts. We should be expanding these, not eliminating them. Particular general interest and senior stay time are cultural gems, as well as educational well springs. Myself, I've taken a dozen different courses at 4 schools. I've learned practical skills. I've enriched my life with art and music. I've been able to do things I always wanted to try. And there's at least a dozen more courses I want to try. This is part of what makes living in Toronto so good. And it's important these are not academic courses. These are more self-directed. Most of life, your success isn't judged by a mark on a test. The empowerment of doing things with your own hands, important. And now let's take a look at the size of the deficit associated with general interest in seniors' daytime. $690,000. Okay. What else we've learned is that this would pay for 1 day of sick leave replacements. Would we really give up this wonderful program to pay for 1 day? No. Let's not pretend that getting rid of this is going to fix anything. All right. So, what I think is that those seniors daytime and general interest programs are something truly excellent. This is what we want the board to achieve. Let's keep them. Thank you.
Thank you, Roy. Trustees, questions of clarifications? Thank you, Roy, for your delegation. 96, Kiran Mirchandani.
Hello.
Hello.
I am a community member and a parent of a child who graduated last year from Parkdale Collegiate Institute. I have to say I'm extremely disappointed in the move of the board to step away from the commitment to equity and public education, and I really encourage you to vote no to the proposal to introduce fees for the International Baccalaureate program. And there are really just 2 points I want to make. First, the justification for fees is that this program costs the board more than other programs within the TDSB, but I'm just simply not convinced by that. I mean, take, for example, the arts programs. They require studios with sprung floors, fine art materials, access to expensive editing software. What about plumbing, carpentry, electrician programs? They require much more than desks and chairs by way of physical infrastructure. So will these be programs next that are next on our list of becoming, I guess, fee-based? So that's my first point. And secondly, I guess perhaps more importantly, I want to raise the optics of charging fees for a program which largely serves immigrant and racialized students within the TDSB. As you all know, the IB programs comprise about 80% immigrants and racialized students. Am I at 0 already? Wow, that was fast. Okay. Just this month, I'm not sure if you followed the findings from this TMU study on the outcomes of second-generation immigrants, but it shows that a disturbing trend. Essentially, that immigrants' children who were born here and have had all their education here in Canada fare more poorly than white Canadians, who and also, in fact, more poorly than their own parents. So this suggests that there's just not enough pathways within the TDSB which support and encourage racialized students to achieve. This IB program counters this trend. At Parkdale, for example, it's in a priority neighborhood with many immigrant families. They enter the school and some gravitate towards the IB program because of its availability and its global curriculum. They're encouraged to excel academically, and they actually go on to buck the trend in this report, the TMU report about the economic outcomes of second-generation immigrants. I know that the proposal includes an intent to have financial assistance, but that's simply not effective. For most people, thousands of dollars in school fees will pose a strain. Financial assistance forms will need to be translated in multiple languages. They'll need to be distributed months in advance so that people can get help, which we know will not happen. And in fact, those applying for citizenship, immigration, refugee status, they're likely to feel policed. So they'll just avoid the program. So perhaps you'll feel that this is a strong statement, but I want to say that specifically targeting this group for fees is effectively a form of racism. Why not charge fees instead for the expensive arts programs or trades programs, which remain substantially white? And I'm not advocating for this, but given that many ways in which schools in the TDSB have failed racialized students, I just see no sense in attacking a program which serves them so well. When you look at the list of elected politicians that we have, a number of them have followed the IB route. And the program is really unlike any other academically enriched program because it's community engaged and global in focus. So I really feel that you were elected to defend the fundamental value of public education, and the introduction of fees erodes this. And so to conclude, those are my 2 points. First, that fees for programs is a dangerous direction for the TDSB. And second, if fees are introduced, don't start that trend with programs which currently have a large proportion of racialized students. I urge you to vote against this decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Kiran. Trustees, questions of clarification? Trustee King. Trustee King, or you are on mute.
There we go. Good afternoon through the chair. Thank you, Karen, for coming in and speaking. I'm representing Parkdale High Park and, of course, Parkdale Collegiate, and I'm happy to hear that your family has benefited from the program. You mentioned that you felt that the subsidy offered, that there was a barrier due to translations, and I just wanted to understand if there were any other barriers or any other thoughts you had with regard to the subsidy and how effective or helpful it is versus not for families.
Well, I mean, yes, first of all, I would say that the subsidy, the income cutoff has to be much higher than, I suppose, the 70,000 or 75,000, because, you know, these are immigrant families. Some people may have that income, but then they're also supporting people through remittances. They may be supporting parents and elderly family members. You know, they may have income that is going towards re-credentializing. So, you know, you can't, I mean, it's going to be a strain for people unless you make that cutoff much, much higher, given the fact that this is a population that's immigrant and racialized. So that's definitely one issue. But the other issue also is that the forms are complicated. They should be in multiple languages if you're going to, in fact, make it, you know, possible for people to apply. And then on top of that, I think a lot of people applying for immigration or citizenship or refugee status are going to sit and say, well, do I want to give all this information? I mean, immigrants see themselves as needing to be contributors and not receivers of financial aid. Like, that is a big, I suppose, pressure on people. That, you know, socially, that's how they are constructed. So I feel like they will feel, well, let me not put myself forward in this way, and let me just avoid the program, you know, given that I can still just send my kid to school. So I think the barriers are so many. Subsidy is not the way to go. Privatization is not the way to go. Why would you have fee-paying students paying thousands of dollars sitting next to students who are paying nothing? You know, within the TDSB, that's just not a trend we want to start in any way.
Trustee King.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you again for coming in and for sharing and spending your time, Karen. Those are all of my questions.
Thank you, Trustee King.
Thank you, Trustee King.
Trustee Rajakulasingham.
Thank you, Chair. Hi, Kieran. Thank you so much for coming in to speak. I think it's really, you mentioned a lot of really important points. If you can speak to what you think the impact will be specifically to racialized and newcomer families in the years to come, if this were to be sustained, what's being proposed?
Well, I mean, you know, I feel like I have witnessed through my own child's experience, so many people, so many young high school students coming into the program and finding a space in this global curriculum, in this community engaged curriculum, and going on to, you know, get positions at the best universities. You know, so I feel like this is a place where people actually somehow seem to climb. They don't get lost, and you know, they connect. And I feel like it'll be such a loss if you know, when you look around, like at our political leaders, they are, you know, at our boards, they are extremely homogeneously white as yet. And so here we have an opportunity. People are self-selecting into this academically rigorous program. We have an opportunity to support them because they go on to be leaders. I mean, I'm sorry, your prime minister has been to the IB program. I mean, it's not accidental. We have a lot of political officials who have followed this route. And so you know, I feel like that's, when we just talk about the need for diversity in our leadership, in our political, you know, in our political leadership, in our corporate leadership. Well, this is how you do it. You support programs that students want to take, you know, that lead them there, kind of. So I think it's going to be, we have a pipeline now. So on one of the very few trusted pipelines, and we're breaking it down. It makes no sense.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Trustee Rajakulasingham. There's no further questions. Thank you, Kiran. Thank you for joining today. Delegate number 97, Uba Farah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me well. My name is Ubah Farah, and I am a Yorkdale Adult Learning Center student. I'm here to advocate for this wonderful school. As a newcomer to Canada in 2015, I faced numerous challenges, but the Yorkdale Adult Learning Center helped me overcome them. I learned how to apply for a job, how to write a resume, how to prepare for an interview. This school helped me to obtain a high school diploma as well as a BSW certificate. Thanks to the knowledge and skills I gained, I now have a BSW job for 5 years. Before that, it was hard to get any job. Yorkdale Adult Learning Center is more than just a regular school. The staff is incredibly supportive and understanding. They're always there and ready to help students with immigration, housing, job search, interview preparation, and course selections. I always look forward to attend this school, and I'm asking you from the bottom of my heart to continue funding it. It is a vital resource for newcomers like me, or was a newcomer, and other community members who need the educational and the career assistance. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Uba. Trustees, questions or clarifications, please? Thank you, Uba. Delegate number 53, Meg Sweatman. Right. Delegate number 70, Karen Hanley. Press star 6 to unmute, Karen. Hi, Karen. Star 6 to unmute, Karen. Hi, Karen. Press star 6 to unmute. Delegate number 79, George Edwards. Hi, George. Delegate number 85, Rafael Lapukin. Sorry if I spell your name. Hi, Rafael.
So it's the 3 you tried, but they're not responding.
So we'll try one more time. Okay. trustees online and members of the community, if you're online, just have some patience because we are trying to reach a few delegates. Number 85, Raphael.
George Edwards is available.
Hi, George.
Go ahead. Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. There's a few points that I'd like to make. First of all, I'm a senior, one of the seniors. I'm over 90 years old. I've been taking courses at the TDSB for the last 25 plus years. I served on a board, an ad hoc committee with continuing ed with Jack Henshaw, whose format was local, affordable, and accessible general interest groups. The education of individuals doesn't end when they finish public school or high school. It continues. There are a number of changes that were made with respect to the continuing ed. One of them was the way that you registered this past couple of seasons. If you're not computer literate and you don't have a smartphone, you don't have any way, unless you have someone, to register for you. I have no idea how many individuals are in that area. I'm one of them. I got somebody to register for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to take any courses. So there has to be an adjustment there. The other areas that have to be considered, and I'm sure that they've been discussed, many of the courses that are offered by the TDSB are intergenerational. I have taken courses where we've had people in their 20s and then right up to seniors. Everyone worked together and everybody learned the different things together. A lot of these courses aren't available in any other venue because they don't have the facilities. The TDSB has them and they should be utilized for the benefit of all citizens. You know, the structure of dealing with many of these things, there's too many layers, and it basically does not allow a lot of the, how can I put it, positive entities be available. So they have to look at that too. There's another area also that I take exception to. There have been instances where there have been enough students, but they don't have an instructor. And the TDSB doesn't seem to have a backup. They have it with teachers that can fill in, but there was nothing there. And so you lose a whole group of people. If this happens more than once, they get turned off and they won't come back. You know, there, as I said before, the other aspect of it that is very, very important is this. Being a senior, there aren't too many areas that we can go to. These courses are magnificent in this respect. They allow you to function. They give you a purpose. They allow you not to vegetate. And that is, I think, from a health, from a mental and physical standpoint, is the most, or one of the most important things. I could go on, but I think I'm going to repeat many, many things that were said. But I thank you very much for allowing me to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Trustees, questions of clarification for George? Anybody? Thank you, George. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much.
Number 85, Raphael.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, thanks for providing me the time to speak. I am a parent of two kids at Regal Road Public School in Ward 9. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about what I've seen now over a number of years in terms of the state of the school and the impact of the funding on the teachers and the experience there. So I have just a few stories and anecdotes. I'll try to move quickly so that I don't use a lot of your time. But our first story is my daughter broke her leg last year and was on crutches. And it was on the 3rd floor, and there's no elevator at the school. The accessibility upgrades have not been done. I understand those are expensive, but so I had to carry her up the 3 flights of stairs while she couldn't walk, which was doable for me. But anybody who has any kind of accessibility needs in the community, the school would be out of reach for them. And when I went to the office to tell them about my daughter, the look in their eyes was just the fear and concern that they would not have the resources on hand that day in order to meet her basic needs, let alone any other kids who have needs. And that really shook me. And it's in part as a result of absenteeisms, which is up, which is driven by teacher burnout, which is driven by a lack of funding and resources. And so this is a cycle that then we are paying more and more for. My daughter's teacher went on long-term leave after a month of school, and basically for a month they subbed in a bunch of different subs, and her education pretty much stopped for a month. As a volunteer at the school, I went and helped out and sat next to a child that clearly had ADHD and didn't pay attention and was completely lost. The teacher at a couple of times tried to lean over and get his attention to get him to focus, but it's clear that he's going to fall behind and be another lost child that needs support. Speaking to one of the janitors, they've recently gone from 3 down to 2 staff, and they can't clean the whole school like they used to and have to make choices each day about what's not going to get cleaned. If it snows outside, then the whole system gets blown out of whack. And finally, another thing is they don't have enough monitors at school at lunchtime, and so they're turning the TV on to have the kids be pacified, and they're not eating my daughter's not eating her lunch because she's getting distracted. And then finally, I'm on the site planning committee for the grounds. We're going to get some new money for the school grounds. Great. Unfortunately, the money that's going to be available can barely cover the accessibility and security upgrades, let alone anything like a new climber and places for them to play, sustainability concerns, climate resiliency, leveraging the grounds for greater awareness about the natural environment. All of that's out the window, or we have to fundraise. There's definitely some potential in my community for doing that, but any community that does not have the funds would be severely limited in what they'd be able to do to put up new climber in their, in the park for kids to play. So I just wanted to relate that in terms of the context of no cuts funding to the schools. They're already to the bone, and any further cutting or planning like that, it's just not feasible. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rafael. Trustees, questions of clarification? Thank you. Thank you, Rafael. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Okay. So we'll wait for 5 more minutes if any delegates who wants to or who is missing today's list, number 70, Karen Hanley, and Meg Sweatman will wait for you for next 5 minutes. And Alicia Elliott. We good?
Hello,
Hi, Karen.
this is Karen.
Yes.
Hello, I am terribly sorry. Yes,
Okay.
we've got feedback going here. Just 1 second.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, is that better?
Yes, that's better.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry about this. I swear it has something to do with my hearing aids. It's a seniors thing, you know. You must have no confidence in me at all. I'm terribly sorry about this. But thank you for hearing me today. I speak to you as yet another senior who's taken many Learn for Life courses. And I must say the gentleman who was in his 90s was a really inspiring person. I want to be as sharp as him when I get his age. I know you appreciate how much the people who spoke to you last night and today want their courses to continue. But I'm not sure you know just how much we as seniors need them. To play off your Learn for Life title, we are literally learning for life. We are learning for our lives. Frankly, we are fighting to keep going and to hold on to our marbles. The pandemic showed us the horrors of the long-term care homes, and we want to stay clear of that fate as long as we can. Meanwhile, the seniors cohort is growing apace. In 2021, we comprised 19% of the population, and we are already overburdening our healthcare and long-term care systems. I have just heard today that a friend has fallen yet again and has been hospitalized. This is the sort of news we have to get used to as seniors, but it always raises the specter of how much longer we have before we're in a similar situation. My passion is learning French, and I'm especially interested in preserving our language learning courses because they are particularly beneficial to our mental acuity in old age. I have always taken Learn for Life granted. Those words are literally for granted, as public education is a basic right regardless of age. I never took those words to mean Learn for Life unless you happen to be a senior, in which case forget it. And seniors, after all, still pay their fair share of school taxes. I must say that I think your move to cancel the Seniors Day programs would be discriminatory, short-sighted, a detriment to society as well as to seniors, and just plain wrong. Like others, I think this is a time to increase the seniors program, but that's for another day. Let's at least try to save what we can and what the seniors already rely on. With respect, please do the principled thing, and please do the smart thing. Please don't pull the rug out from under us. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you, Karen. Trustees, questions of clarification? Seeing and hearing none. Thank you, Karen. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Good. So this is the last call from Mag Sweatman. Right. So we are done for the delegations for budget year 2024-25. Thank you, delegates who joined us yesterday and today. Thank you for bringing your concerns forward to trustees and staff. Thank you, staff, for facilitating for 2 days. Thank you, trustees, for joining us. And thank you, Vice Chair Didavides, for assisting me throughout the 2 days. I need a mover and a seconder to adjourn the meeting.
Trustee Bay.
Trustee Hassan.
Trustee McLean. Trustee McLean. Chair Lynn. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.